This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, here's a quick update to the site, the content migration process. Um, so this is what you'll see when you first log into Contentful. And what you want to do, you want to be in the master space up here. You can see, the master space up here. And so basically, since we're already there, we can go to content, this content tab. And what should populate is all the content that's within Contentful. And you see how it's labeled draft and publish. I actually did a couple of dozen of these to make sure the process was accurate. And so from here, what you're going to do is you're going to receive a list. And this list is going to look like this. And so the ones in green are the ones that I've already completed. And what I want to do is to attempt to do this next one here and get this and just kind of walk through the process again and what I updated in the process. So now I'm going to take that ID and I'm going to place it right into the content type article. And if you look in here, that's multiple content types, and we're dealing with articles. You wouldn't really shouldn't have to go anywhere else. There's, like I would go in and I actually updated the tags and some of the other things, but you should be able to manage everything from this point, and until you feeling more familiar with it. So we're going to search for this article, and the article um, is in draft, so that means it has work to be done on it. And so we're going to click into this article, and so we can kind of get a sense of what we need to do. So in this article here, it has a bunch of tags, and there's an error, um, the export error, pretty much meaning that Contentful can uh, parse and render any of the code that came from WordPress in this case. So you can actually next you want to do is actually get the URL so we can see exactly what we're working with. So you can actually get the URL from the bottom of the actual page in Contentful, or it's actually also here um, in the here on the priority list page. Okay, so we're going to go back, and since we copied it, and we're going to go to the page, and go directly to that page, and we can look in the body and see exactly what um, Contentful was having a hard time with. And this is the coding solution. So basically, we're just looking again to take the code, the HTML, and it's probably a table, and it's probably relatively simple, uh, and implement it. Fix the issue. Overcome the error basically within Contentful. So I'm not sure. I don't even see any pictures in here, but it's okay because many times they're tables. Sometimes people, developers maybe implemented a table or whatever. And so I'm not seeing any pictures in here, which is sort of an issue. Each one of these that we implement, they require an image. Ah, there's an image. Okay. So what we want to do from here is the first thing I like to do, and you may I think this page just has errors in it in general. Is I like getting the copy first because it's easy to confuse the copy. You know, you could have the wrong set of content in your cache, and so I like to really get that out the way. And I'm finding that I can just grab everything in here like that. As far as related content goes, most of these URLs are internal, and since these URLs are going to be different, we can't really play with it too much. So we're going to allow the related content to happen dynamically within the portlets on the site, and let the IT team update and make this work. But we do want to get this image, ideally the image from Flickr. We want to give recognition to whomever supplied the image, but we're going to copy it after it get done with this part here. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go back into Contentful, and now there's two places to put content. There's this abstract, and we're not really using that. I mean, if you see an abstract on the page and it'll say abstract right in the content of the page, yeah, I'm sure you can go ahead and drop it in if you choose to. But really what we want to do is focus in here. So I've already copied the content. I'm going to get rid of this comment here and just drop that in there just like that. So next I'm going to go back and get this credit, this image credit. I think from a legal standpoint we kind of need to do that, and I'd hate that to go back and have some rework. So I just want that. I don't want these related content, any of these links at the bottom. We could probably skip that. The related content is not going to help us with this project. So so now I'm going to take this credit and I'm going to drop it right here at the bottom. And then what I like to do, I like to bring up the, if there's a lot of space, I like to leave it just maybe a couple of spaces at the bottom. And sometimes actually you copy and paste, it'll actually make a huge thing like that, just a big breaks at the bottom. So we're going to take it to where it's comfortable, a comfortable look. And now really you can just I don't think you even have to click through on these links. Really what we're looking for is internal links. If it's an internal link to discover.com, we want to remove it and just make it text and remove the anchor, right? So this is fine. This is fine. This is fine. If you want to click through, that's perfectly fine. But what's going to happen when we're all said and done and it goes into the demo mode, we'll be able to scan and find dead links. And so, and more than likely, there's no reason for it to corrupt in the copy and paste. More so, you want to make sure you look through it in the content that was actually migrated, because sometimes that can be a little funny. So we have all the content. Now we need to get the image. And the way I'm working with it, most of these images should already be in Contentful. So really all we need to do is get some name. You can actually look for the so we have okay, here we go. So the name of this image is fish pedicure. Okay, so if we go into Contentful and then go down to image required, since it's already in the system, and it should be in most cases, there may be some cases we have to do a solution where it won't be, but since this one should be, we're looking for fish pedicure. Was it one word or two? There it is. So fish pedicure, and there it is. Now, since this image is not published, because you can see that little yellow dot, and nothing will publish. Matter of fact, I'm going to leave it unpublished so we can see exactly what Contentful does when we attempt to publish it. Now, this is the change. Okay, so well, first of all, we have to make sure the category is accurate. So these categories are no good. In most cases, they won't be, because the categories are coming from WordPress, and they were using categories as tags. And in Contentful, categories are actually part of the primary navigation. So in the primary navigation, and I'll provide the link as well, and this is the directory structure for the basic directory structure for the new Discover site. So I optimized the top level categories. These subcategories, archaeology, biology, and then genetics, wind, solar, that sort of thing, these are what would fall up underneath. And in many cases, everything in here could be a tag. So all the tags, it's not an exhaustive list of tags, it's just kind of enough to give you an idea, okay, well, where would, this says computing, and it has like computing up underneath. It has computer viruses and crimes. So anything that's cyber bad or anything that's a virus or malware would fall up under technology, and it could be actually given a tag of a virus. Okay, so the top categories for the navigations: the sciences, mind, technology, environment, planet Earth, and health. So you'll have that, and so you can look. Like I said, I would imagine that most of Indian developers have better English when it comes to actually understanding it, because you're using the Queen's English than American. So, but in any case, um, these categories are no good, so we can just really kill these two. And this is going to be, this is, let's see, experts. This is going to be health. And you can actually find the categories. You don't have to guess on that, and I should clear that up. If you go back and we take a look, here, here's the experts shocking warning: don't let fish chew on your feet. Here's the article, and then you can see I already set the category up as health. Okay, so we're going to go back and we're going to place that category and go to existing. Now you can actually see a bunch of things. All these categories actually were migrated over, and remember that WordPress didn't in WordPress they use categories like tags, and they just kind of did a bunch of different things. But in this site, in Contempt, was being used as navigation. So what I did is I placed keep against all the ones that we're going to keep, and they're published already. So here, all we have to do is select health. All right. So now this is the change. Before I said we're not going to focus on tags, because if you look on the priority sheet, only thing you see is categories. Okay. But I do want to maintain some of these tags, all right? And so I'd like to maintain at least 2 tags, and I'm not looking for anyone to actually have to read any articles. But what you can do, you can actually click through, like say fish pedicures. This may not be a good tag because tags are used for navigation. And I would imagine that there's not a lot of articles about this, right? So this is a horrible tag. I think they were looking to optimize pages. Um, Click. You have to click directly on the X, otherwise it'll go into edit mode. So let me get rid of this. Okay, so get rid of this. This makes no sense here. Um, and if you, like I said, if there's no way for you to easily identify a tag, don't even worry about it. You can just probably just leave it. But I would like to add a tag or two. So typically if you go to the page itself and you go at the bottom of the article, you'll see some things that will let you know what the tag should be. So in this case, it says disease, injuries, like these fish, so they got them in categorized under, but these are actually the tags here. So we can actually use disease or injuries. The first couple actually are most relevant. So more about fish. This is something else. Um, we want to kind of be more generalized, and because we're going to come back and optimize these tags even further and add more optimized tags, because it's going to allow the pages to be grouped. So I'd say diseases, maybe injuries, um, maybe if you're not sure, just add one. Um, and so I'd imagine this didn't have any. Yeah. Health Protection Agency may not be a bad one for this one. Um, Let's see how many other pages have that same one. Hmm, I'm not seeing anyone else with that. Okay, so let's get rid of that, and then let's, I think this was diseases. Okay, so I'm sure that's going to be represented. Okay, we got diseases. So a bunch of ones for disease. Okay, I see infectious disease. Hmm. Okay, here's disease. So this would be the tag. And this is what I'm adding. Now, this is not published because it's in draft. And so we have the tag, we have the category, we have everything in place. We have the image, we have the copy, and the links have been checked. So now what I want to do is I want to take this and change it to review complete. And I'm going to attempt to publish this. And so it does look like it'll give you the opportunity to publish anyway in some case. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes it will make an error. But we want to publish these. And but I'm going to go ahead and see what happened. It did it. So it did publish without these things, these these assets being published, but we're going to have to publish them anyway. So if you click on the image, and if it's not published, it won't show up on the front end, right? And we want to give this a title, or like whatever it was, like what do they call it? We don't want to necessarily be blank because it's a content site, and a lot of these images end up in search. And so this is fish pedicure. You know, that works. Let's see, we don't need any hyphens because it'll make its own slug somewhere. And we'll publish that. All right. So now the image is published, and now we want to go and carefully click on this drafted tag. Just carefully click on that pencil, because you click the other, it'll delete. Um, and this is a tag we want to keep, and that's it. And everything, and and then you know, I think it's, and you don't have to republish. Once it's published, it just works, and that's that one. Um, and so what we can do is go back to the list, and I'll just make a note that this one is complete. And let's do the next one. So the next one, the page ID is 9720. 9720. So let's do this one. So go back to content and search for 9720. Hopefully multiples, and that's what I hope happened. So we went through this once, but I decided to, it's probably good again, do it again. So the name of the actual article that's in the description, if you look over on your priority list, is scientists have mapped all of I guess I don't know what that is. So this is an error, some sort of error right here. You see how it's some kind of machine language, or Tilia, some signs, and we want to just kind of eyeball that. So when you see these strange, um, characters, like this is happening in migration. It's kind of, we want to keep an eye out for that. So we're looking for scientists who mapped all whatever that's supposed to be. And if we come back to Contentful, we'll see scientists have mapped all of the Ortiz. So I guess that's apostrophe O, and it was corrected. And so, you know, it looks okay, and so that's fine, as long as it's not some strange character. Okay. Now, this page here has no content, just like the other one. And so some of these should have content, but look like many of them will not. So we can grab the URL, then we can go directly to the page. Okay, my internet is a little laggy because I have this GoToMeeting open. It's loading. Okay. Now, what I like to do, I like to grab the content first because it actually populates the page and you can see it. And I try to, and there was a few times in doing this, I actually populated the abstract area, and I have to go back. And the thing we want to avoid as much as possible is the rework. So, a little laggy. Okay, so this first image, we know it's going to be a dynamic image, and we know it needs, there needs to be an image in there. And I guess it'll publish with a unpublished image. The page will publish with, but it won't publish if the image is missing. We're going to test that also. Okay, so I had to close this game. 1 second. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to grab the content first, and you can, what I found is that you can actually grab all of the content, even past the images, because what'll end up copying over is the caption, and you can use that caption to your benefit. And I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to grab all the content. We're not taking any of this stuff down here. We're definitely not taking any of these comments. That's not even being migrated one bit. So now I want to go back, and I'm going to go to the body, not the abstract, the body area. I'm going to just drop that in there. So there's a lot of stuff happening, a lot of good things we can go over in this part. So we have spaces, we have links, and we have got some image just drop in there. So so now what I like to do is get the dynamic image. So this image, while I'm calling it a dynamic image, because it's going to actually be placed in a portlet for images and be used in thumbnails. Okay, so I'm going to search for this a different way. Okay, so this is the image, and I'm going to go into template. I'm going to look for mummy discovered and see, the caption can be used as a query. So let's find the image, link an existing asset, and I'm going to say mummies discovered, and there it is. Oh, there it is. So ideally, what we want to have happen is grab the image for the proper caption. Because you see the caption, you can mouse over from the Iceman, come up the research, and this is set, or Otis or Otzi rather. And so researchers identify this Iceman from the yeah, you kind of have to pick and choose. It looks like this is the one here, so we're gonna grab that one. And that's interesting. So let me go back and remove this one and see really mummy. Well, you know what? Because they have the same name, and this may be, we're not going to allow this to be an issue. We're going to let's see. Tattoos on Iceman. Okay, so this is the one here. Seemed to be the one. And we want to edit it. Ideally, we want to make sure that the yeah, there it is. The description is right there. So perfect. So I guess I shouldn't second guess that technology. So yeah, we just want to find the image and make sure it's published. So we've already copied the content, and now, of course, we want to make sure that the categories are accurate. So this was one of the times where the category was able to update because they had the correct one, and when we updated it, it was the right one. So it's published. All we have to do is really remove this one. And we don't have to remove it because it's unpublished, but just to keep it clean, allow you to see. Now, these tags are perfect. This is a mummy, anthropology, archaeology. That works for me. So this is the change. So we have to publish these as we go. Publish. Go back. Oh, no. Let's try that again. Oh, there it is. It did publish. Yeah, a little laggy. And I want to publish this one as well because these look like good tags. And so again, it's for navigation. And these are generalized and they look very similar to the subcategories, right? Over here in the keyword matrix, sciences, archaeology. These are sciences. So those are going to help us people navigate and find content because this is a search and optimization strategy, right? Okay, so let's see where we are. And we have a couple more images to add, I believe. So we can get out of this tag. And so everything's looking great. Okay. And now we just need to drop a few images in here. And so we can tell this is some sort of caption or something. And here's the next one. So it looks like there's at least 2 images. And so we can go on back. And the easiest thing to do is to get the name or the alt tag of the image. So so inspect is gonna get you where you need to be quicker, I think, sometimes. But as you go through these, you'll become more expert at, finding, names and, to your. Okay, so yeah, this is the map shows locations of 19. So what's happening here then is when we copy like that, we actually are taking the alt text from the image. So you should just take that and place it in right where the image would go to this embed here, and you can see this embed is um, right here in this frame, and then go to assets. From here we should just be able to drop that alt tag in there, the alt tag, and that's it. And now we just want to do some adjusting. I kind of like to keep little close. Let's see. Oh, that's not gonna work, huh? All right, so that's where we want that. And then now we can actually get rid of this because this is alt tag. We don't want this showing, right? And the caption will appear automatically. So I kind of like to keep it close a little bit. Okay, sometimes this thing will do strange things. So this is one thing I wanted you to see. You see how the body just disappeared? So really all you can do is just hit refresh. And it has like a save, so it'll save it. Anything you put in there, it'll still be there. Okay, so we go down. It's loading. Okay, so see, we're all back. We got the content in there. We got the image we just dropped in there, and we just have this next image to drop. And so I'm just going to grab the alt text, and then I'm going to place my cursor where I want the image to go. Go to embed, and then go to assets. Paste the the alt tag content, and there is what we're looking for right there. And like I said, I like to keep it a little close, not that close. But when you do that sort of thing, it messes up many times. I don't know if it's a browser thing. I haven't tried this in Internet Explorer or Firefox. I've just been using Chrome. And it doesn't happen often. It's just that when you start to, because it's so dynamic, it just, it really wants to change it, I think, or save it as such when you remove an image like that. So, okay, it's loading. All right. And there they are. So we can tighten this up just a little, remove this alt text. Don't want that. And, I think that works. I don't want it, like I said, this may look a little tight, and you have to judge it for yourself. It may be better to put, let's see, because we don't have a preview. You might want to put a little space, at least one space between the image and whatnot. Now, there are no other links. And we can, like I said, put just one break right there. And so from here, all we have to do is publish the images. So go to edit. So these inline images are a little different, but same process for the most part. Published. You just have to click on these three dots up here. Go to edit, publish, go back. And this one, the main one, is published. Everything is looking great. The category is great. The tags are awesome. And then we just want to go from new import to review complete, publish. And that's it. So there's no, we don't have any preview of the page or anything, but that's pretty much it. So now I'm just going to go back and mark that on this list as complete. That's pretty much it. That's it. We want to go ahead and try to add a tag or two to kind of help segment the content, because there's a lot of the sciences, and that, it's a lot. There's thousands of pages of the sciences, so we want to give them a little bit more, if possible. And if you get to a place, I would mark it on your, if you get, like, you look at something you're not sure what to do, mark it on your sheet as something that can review later, and just move forward and go past. And if it's something, and I'll be available, throughout this whole process to, to lend any direction. But that is it. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you, and I'll talk to you soon.